check. Channel open. No witnesses.
Tells me truth. Every silence marks a route. Hands are steady, breath is slow. I hear you long before you show. Lines are drawn, the grid is tight. I don't need fire, I need time. Boom, hear that sing, pretty boy. That's the sound of broken toys. I don't creep, I don't wait. I kick the door and detonate. You hide behind your blinking lights. Dark with burning sky. I don't listen, I don't bleed. I leave a crater where you breathe. One stays quiet, one burns loud. Both walk in, only smoke comes out. Listen to that buzz, hear the signal fade. No last words, no clear fate. Choices, perfect timing. One will make it loud while the other silently moves away. And calls in an airstrike.
Call ya.
Plans collapse but still defend. Every blast distorts the map. Every second snaps a trap. I don't hunt, I calculate. Distance buys another fate. Mercy weighs more than the kill. I am the noise but not the will. Run your math, I'll raise the heat. Every step turns incomplete. You think silence means you're gone? Nah, I love the quiet pull.
I don't need proof, I smell the fear. You're close, I know, you're still right here. I don't stop till something breaks. Either you
or everything. Channel bleeding, signal bending, footsteps, fire. To that buzz, hear the signal fade. No last words, no clear fate. Bad choices, perfect timing. One will make it loud while the other silently moves away.
calls in an airstrike.
Call ya.
Mature content warning. On Logan's Joe Takes, strategic commentary may include strong language, heated opinions, classified references. Time to call in the Joes. Opposing forces may attempt audio interference. Logan's Joe Takes. Mission begins now.
Greetings, I'm Logan with G.I. Joe Gamer, my first on-screen live stream for 2026. Hope you guys are all doing well. I got two figures to chat with you about. Let me turn this down so I can get some background music going. I should have had that done already, but all right, I'm so good at this. All right, tonight we've got a mashup from 1986, the lineup there. We've got two not very well known characters, or maybe not necessarily liked. They're not that, some of them are. I mean, you know, out of the two of them, I think the Dreadnought is probably more popular than the Joe. But that's kind of what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do like, you know, I still want other things to do, like my Dr. Mindbender Joe Take and or Serpentor. I don't have Serpentor in the classified line yet, but I do have the retro Dr. Mindbender, but we're going to get to that. So that we're talking 1986. But I've done Zorana, I've done a Joe Take on Xandar, and I've done Joe Take on the Bat and the Viper. So I've covered everything that's out other than Monkeywrench tonight, who'll be the featured bad guy, the featured villain, Dreadnought Monkeywrench, their explosive expert. And then on the Joe side, we've got Dial Tone. You know, I didn't have any other 1987 characters to go up against him that I hadn't done already. And then after Christmas, I ended up getting several 1986 characters, but I had already lined up Dial Tone. So that's who we got tonight. And I think it's actually a really cool mashup between these two because, like I said, on the one hand, you've got Dial Tone, who's not a very popular Joe per se. I like him. But, you know, he's not super popular. People go, oh, yeah, Dial Tone, he's there. He's our communications guy, right? And then you got Monkeywrench, you know? And he came out the same year that Xandar and Zorana came out, and the Dreadnought Thunder Machine with Thrasher. So Thrasher just kind of overshadows Monkeywrench most of the time. So I thought this would be pretty cool to mash them up together and see which one would win in a confrontation, as it were. So we've got some figures to look at. We got some file cards to share with you. Then a mashup and a 1986 checklist. What we even classified still. We'll start with my 1986 Monkeywrench, who is missing his crotch piece. Oh, that poor guy, he lost his ability to crotch. No, it happens. These figures, the plastic on them was pretty fragile, and that's all he came with. Just his harpoon grapple gun, which, you know, they do to a certain extent in the classified. I mean, I think they did a better job in the classified line, but they did not. If I can get him straight on the battle stand here. Yeah, I always like to look at this figure. They did not do that in the other two, not necessarily vintage, but other two Dreadnought Monkeywrench figures that they came out with. And I have those. I have all the Monkeywrench figures they ever came out with. I cannot say the same for my poor Dial Tone figure. We'll get into that. Monkeywrench, he's got a pretty decent Dreadnought look to him, and he matches up with the other Dreadnoughts really well. The only difference is he's got the ball joint head, so he can move his head up and down, and the other three original Dreadnoughts could not. Thrasher can too, so he matches up with Thrasher and Xandar and Zorana. So, but you know, the original three Dreadnoughts are still really cool. Now, the second version of Monkeywrench that ever came out in 2006, and was part of the direct-to-consumer line. And they had quite a few of those in the early 2000s, and they stopped doing that a while back. But he came with 2 shotguns and a knife, no harpoon grapple gun. What I really like is this trench coat he came with, and it's really hard. Well, it's kind of a soft plastic, but it's not super soft like some of the stuff they got out now. This is Dreadnoughts on his chest, and he looks pretty cool. It's a decent looking figure, you know. And you know, this isn't where a shotgun is supposed to go. I think that's where his knife is supposed to go. But you can put his shotgun right there, and it goes right down in there. And he's got one on the other side for the other shotgun, which I thought was pretty cool. So decent version of Monkeywrench, but not at all like the original. And then in the 25th anniversary line, so that was the 2 O-ring figures they have them. They did come out with one in the 25th anniversary line, which was in a Walmart exclusive 2-pack with Tunnel Rat. And that was really the Night Force Tunnel Rat. I'm pretty sure that's where I got my Night Force version of Tunnel Rat in the 25th anniversary line. Now, instead, he comes with a pistol that you can take out of the holster. And it's kind of like a, I'll show it to you. It's a little like a revolver hand cannon. It's pretty cool. And so, yeah, you can see it. But let me see if I can get it up there. See, like it's got a little revolver barrel there. Let me see if I can get the light on it. I don't know. But, you know, there it is. I get it as close as I can. But, yeah, it's kind of a revolver style. Now, he has a belt of grenades that comes off and a satchel. And they both are set up the same way instead of the other way. One of them, that would have been nice, but that's what he came with. And then instead of coming with his harpoon gun, he comes with an eel sonic gun. And it was pretty cool. And they even had a paint application on the end there, which I thought was neat. But, you know, I wish it had come out with his harpoon trident. You know, it was so cool. That was his signature weapon. And both of the other versions of Monkeywrench just did not come with the harpoon gun. The Trident Harpoon, which, you know, is okay. Because, I mean, these are good, solid Monkeywrench figures. And the battle stand for his, this one came out in like 2010, 2009, 2010, right around the Rise of Cobra movie. So he got a dog tag style battle stand that has his code name on it. And it sounds like Luna's wanting to say hello. It's been a while since Luna decided to invade the Joe Take, but I'm going to set him down here. And we're going to take a look at the box for the classified before we look at the classified figure like we normally do. And of course, you got all that stuff on the side. We're talking number 167 in this line, which means it's come a long way. They've already got over 200 in the line. I don't have that many. Actually, I did reach 200 this last month. So, but that's, you know, that's including everything. And then there's box art on the side, which I'll show you his accessories, and you'll see why they did it that way. I wish they just had his face and not this other mask that he came with, kind of a gas mask style. But it's a hairpiece mask that replaces the whole thing on top of his head instead of just a head replacement. Which I think the head replacement would have been better. I don't like the wig style, you know, that they did with Lady J when she first came out with Lady J. But, you know, he came with a couple of extra hands, just fists, so you can punch. And yeah, I'm not big on those, but, you know, some people are into that, and that's kind of cool. Then we got this for the classified line, which, if you line him up to the vintage, looks pretty close. I mean, you got the grenade belt, you got the harpoon gun, which I will take a better look at here in just a minute. But then, you know, you've got a bandana around his neck, which I thought was neat. It was a nice addition, call back maybe to the trench coat style. And he does come with a revolver, nice big old hand cannon. I thought that was pretty cool. And he came with these 2 battle axes, which, oh man, well, they're not really battle axes, kind of like hand axes, but with some grip. I would call them a modern battle axe. And, you know, you take the head off to replace the bandana, but he has a second one that covers his face, so he can go in as all masked up. It's pretty cool. And on the video on Joe Takes that I'll play at the end, I have it all. I use all the accessories, even in the fist. I get into a little bit, but all right. So what they did for this harpoon gun, let me show them. I got both figures up here with the harpoon guns. I mean, hell, they're almost the same size. I mean, look at that. However, the paint applications make it very clear that this is a harpoon gun, and the original one really didn't. A lot of people didn't know what the heck his original gun was, but it's like a trident that he fires, and then he can reel things in, like when they're riding around as dreadnoughts. I thought that was a really interesting and unique signature weapon. And he does have the sunglasses that do come off, but they stay on really good. So unlike Buzzer, who can't keep the glasses on to save him, or Torch, who they just stuck glasses on and it was part of the mold, like the original figures like this. I think they did a really good job with this Monkeywrench figure. I mean, he's pretty cool. And the chains, I mean, look at that. On his belt, he's got chains on the belt, bandanas on the legs, ripped jeans, just like in the original. He had that style of jeans. And so, looks pretty good. And he had a holster for his revolver. So, they did a pretty good take on this Monkeywrench figure from the original. And he's got the skull and crossbones tattoo there, which is pretty cool. And then that's a knife with a serpent going around it. So there's a Dreadnought tattoo that's similar to that. So maybe it's the Dreadnought tattoo. And then on the back, you've got a black part on his vest. That's looks like it's there to hold the axe sheath, as it were, which this doesn't really work very well. And these have a tendency to fall off when you're trying to pose them and stuff, but only when there's two. When it's by itself with one, it's just fine. So that's Monkeywrench. The classified Monkeywrench is pretty cool. I was not disappointed with the classified Monkey. Now, I'm not disappointed with most of the Dreadnoughts on the classified line, and the only thing I'm disappointed with Buzzer is his glasses, and it was disappointing because they don't stay on. Knockerhide's pretty cool, and I haven't done a Joe take on him yet, but not next month, but the month after, I'm going to be doing a Dreadnoughts sub-team episode, so I'll be looking at all the Dreadnoughts in the classified line. We will not have a few. That should be. There's only 2 more after that need to be the classified line, but we'll talk about that later with the checklist. But right now, let's switch over to Dialtone here. Check out his figure. Now, if you'll take note, this is a 1986 Dialtone. Now, the problem is it's parts of 2 1986 Dialtone. The upper body is from the Brazil pack, which came with the only thing they ever brought out, Captain Claymore. But they brought out 4 other Joes that had various different paint applications and different mold colors. And so you've got the pants from the original 1986 Dialtone, and I got the upper body from the Brazil pack. I'm sorry, this to me was a superior version of Dialtone. Now I wish I still had my original 1986 Dialtone put together, but as a young guy, man, once my brother gave me this Brazil pack, what he had left of it, he had tore it up, to be honest with you. But he was a kid, and I've got an extra Dialtone backpack, but the microphone is broken off, so I don't even have the microphone piece. But that's his original gun. And so I've got a 1986 Dialtone just from 2 different versions of Dialtone. But to me, this is the way I like him. He's got the darker, he got the black shirt underneath with the brown vest and that darker beret. To me, the Brazil pack would have been the superior figure if it didn't have reddish pants, maroon pants. I was like, what? But a lot of the Brazil pack had colors like that. So it matched the other figures with the exception of one, but we'll talk about that with the checklist again. But this figure is complete other than the fact that the upper body and arms and head are from the Brazil pack Dialtone. So, but I got me a Dialtone from the vintage line. And so that's going to take us to the classified because I don't have any other Dialtone figures. And they did have one for the modern line, or 2. I don't remember. I think they had 2 for the modern and 2 for in the 2000s. But I didn't get any of those. And they did have one. They had 2 others that came out in the vintage line. One came out in 1990 as part of the Sonic Fighters. I'm pretty sure 90 or 91. those were kind of confusing. Some would come out in November the year before, and most people count them as part of the year after. So I don't remember whether it was 90 or 91 on that one. I was just looking it up, but I put all my file cards for the Sonic Fighters together. So here is Dial Tone in the G.I. Joe classified line. He's number 149. So yeah, there you go. You got the back there, and then the box art side on the side box art, which is really good. And I just don't know why they've got just this on the cover. I mean, this is what sells your figure. I mean, yeah, you got the figure in there that you can see through the window, you know, and people love the window packaging, but your art, man, the artwork is awesome on this one. So let's take a look at this classified Dial Tone. I don't lose my place here. Now they did a pretty good job. And I will compare. I should have left him up here so I can compare these guys up. But his knees on this this vintage figure are just really bad, and I don't really like to do knee repairs because sometimes it just makes it worse. I'm not that good at it, so you know I'm not going to bother with it. But you know the gun is completely different. I wish they'd have gone more with the OG gun. So maybe if they do a retro Dial Tone, they will. Maybe with the colors on the backpack too. But I like this classified not camo, communications pack that he's got, and the microphone does move up and down just like the original. So if I can get a hold of it, but it stays on there really good. So you know, it's great for posing though. You know, it's a pretty cool backpack. And let me pop this one off here too, so you can see them together. And just it did a great job of making this look like the original. Now with a retro paint, you will probably see all the same details as you do on the original. If they do one, who knows what they're going to do. Hasbro. Now, he was a Sonic fighter, so for some reason he came with a Sonic weapon or a bullhorn, whichever you want to look at it. I think it's a Sonic weapon because it's got a trigger, and it could be a bullhorn, but it really doesn't look like it. It looks more like a gun or a bullhorn. So yeah, this piece, you can I'm pretty sure you can take that off, the little disc. I could be wrong, but it looks like you can. I don't think so. Okay, well, there it is. And yeah, he's got the little, piece in the center. So you can use it for either or. I would say with the G.I. Joe, and the fact that he was a Sonic figure, it's a bullhorn. That's how they show him on the box art. It looks like a bullhorn, only it's not black. It's kind of a chrome color, which makes it so you can see the details better. Which, like I said, if they do a retro, they may come with it or not, because the original figure did not come with a bullhorn. Now he did, like I said, he was a Sonic fighter. He does have a communications walkie-talkie on his belt, but it doesn't come out. He does, however, come with it looks like a cell phone, and it can slot into his belt. There's a spot on his belt where you can slot this. There's a spot where you can slot this cell phone right here, and you can also put it on the gun. It's kind of cool. And I'll pop it off here so we can talk about it. Now, I'll give you a closer look at it. It's a very interesting piece, but is it a cell phone, or is it just for his gun, or is it another communication device? I would like to think that it's a sat phone, a Joe sat phone, but he can use it to target with. I mean, there's just this really cool slot here on his gun for it, which made this gun worth it, And then he's got, grenade. He's got the grenade belt and stuff that probably can come off. And he does have a combat knife. What he does not have is a sidearm. And so, to me, he's a little lacking. He's got his machine gun, he's got his combat knife, but he doesn't have a sidearm. So, a pistol. Joe should have a pistol. Sorry, I'm gonna die on that hill. But yeah, there's your bullhorn, and a pretty cool figure. Of course, the battle thing has to fall off, but Now we can match the colors up to the legs on the original, and it's a pretty good match. I like the darker tones on the new one, so they'll probably do a retro. And I just like I said, I just love that Brazil pack dial tone upper body. It's so much better, and to put it on the original legs, I did that. I was like, done. I'm not even going to put it back. I just put the screw in. I was like, nope, this is how this figure's going to stay, and it did. So yeah, I should probably pick up another 1986 dial tone, but budget being what it isn't at the moment, I'm barely able to get any of the new classified stuff, and that's just how that is. Now, what I was saying earlier about neither of these characters getting a lot of love from the fan base or from Hasbro. They don't have, or Larry Hama even, or the cartoon. They don't have a lot of appearances in the comic book. Dial Tone was in season 2 of the Sunbow cartoon, and so was Monkeywrench, but they were just there. I mean, there were a few episodes that involved Dial Tone, and there was one episode, Sins of the Father, that revolved around Dial Tone's character, where the Joes kind of tricked him and kicked him out, and he took a job that ended up being for Cobra, but Hawk and Flint knew that's what was going to happen, and so they were keeping an eye on him. And he was so stoked when he realized he was a Joe again. It was kind of sad because Flint came up to him and told him he didn't make a cut as a Joe. It was kind of a sad moment, because you're thinking, yeah, I can see that, and that was what worked in that episode. It was a character that you could see going, oh, okay, well, he made it for Joe as a Joe for a while, and then he wasn't, and it was kind of sad, bittersweet. But then it focused on him, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, this episode's about Dial Tone, and it was his journey back to the Joe team. But he was never off the Joe team. He just believed he was for a while, and so did Cobra, and they hired him to try to crack this communication code, which he's rather good at it, and he built his own ham radio when he was a kid. So, that was what he does. So for Dial Tone, that was the big episode. Monkeywrench was in a few there with the Dreadnoks, but for the most part, if they had a Dreadnok episode, there was Torch Ripper Buzzard, and Thrasher, even in the cartoon, overshadowed him. In the comic books, Dial Tone is just there. He's on a few missions here and there, and I don't have any really good memories of him. I don't know if he's ever on a cover appearance. I Googled it, and Monkeywrench is on, of the two, Monkeywrench is on one cover, and they count him as Torch for some reason, but it's definitely Monkeywrench. If you look at the artwork, and that was G.I. Joe 51, and I've shown that one many times, and I'm going to show it again here in a couple months when I do the Dreadnok sub-team episode here, coming up on episode 77, so just 2 episodes away. Hey, we got a Jess Laws in the house. Hey, Jess, how you doing? Sorry, my Zoom meeting doesn't end until 8:30. That's okay. Yeah, I started earlier on these Joe takes, Jess, so I could make sure I have a meal at a decent time, because my kids, my adult kids, when they're supposed to make dinner, which is most nights now, because that's just how it is. We got plenty of people in the house. Everybody takes a turn, and so here I am. It's for me, it's 6:30, still no dinner, and so I wouldn't have had any in time for the show. So, hey, Cool Gamer, no worries, Jess, no worries. Good to see you, Cool Gamer. Just talking G.I. Joe today. There was a really cool storyline in the comics that involved Monkeywrench, and it was okay, and he was there, and Larry Hama, included him, just him, Zorana, and Thrasher in this storyline where they took over a plane that Wild Bill, Maverick, and Crazy Legs had already commandeered, and then had all these refugees that they were going to fly out of this country that was being overthrown, and so they had to all learn to work together to escape. At first, the Dreadnoks took control of the plane, but once stuff went down, the Joes were just kind of like, all right, shut up. I mean, they all ended up with their guns again, and it was like, but they ended up actually working together, so it was kind of interesting. But The standout Dreadnought was Thrasher in that storyline, even over Zorana. Wild Bill was the standout Joe. Maverick and Crazy Legs were there, and they were pretty cool. I like both those characters. And maybe someday I'll do a Battle Force 2000 episode, but I doubt I'll do one on each of those characters because, you know, I did like a few of them, but my favorite is not Dodger like most people. I did a short take on Dodger, though, for a friend. And if you want to check that out, that's on the channel, G.I. Joe Short Takes. You can see that, find that on From the Hill. There's a playlist now, G.I. Joe Short Takes. And I did 10 episodes of that. So that's stuff that wasn't in the classified line yet, but I wanted to talk about, and we did a bit. But some of those are in the classified line now, so it's kind of cool. But they weren't full Joe takes. I didn't go into their backgrounds or anything. Now, as far as their characters are concerned, let's play some file card videos and get to know these two characters. We're going to start with Monkeywrench because it's Monkeywrench versus Dial Tone, and I'll play the Dial Tones right after.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Code name Monkeywrench. Dreadnought Demolitions.
File name.
Bill Winky. Birthplace Rill, North Wales. Primary specialty demolitions. Secondary specialty civil disturbances. Monkeywrench was born on Guy Fawkes Day, which in Britain commemorates the foiling of the gunpowder plot. As a youth, he built explosive devices for terrorists and had made himself a pariah in his hometown by age 16. He drifted to London's East End to take part in a new wave movement, developing rudeness and crude anti-social behavior. His wandering eventually brought him to Australia, where he joined the Dreadnoughts. He is first seen allying with Zanzibar to steal already stolen gasoline from the Dreadnought station. Despite initial beatings, the two join with the other Dreadnoughts in defending Cobra Island from a missile pointed at it. Despite a running battle with Hawk and several unofficial Joes, the weapon is safely neutralized. Later, Thrasher, Monkeywrench, and Zorana are part of a team overseeing a Cobra terror drone base in the country of Sierra Gordo. When the country erupts in civil war, the three take Thrasher's Thunder Machine to a local airstrip where they take several civilians hostage. This gets them transport from Wild Bill, Crazy Legs, and Maverick of the G.I. Joe team. Eventually, the Dreadnoughts, Joes, and the civilians willingly work together in an ultimately successful attempt to escape to safety. Monkeywrench also is seen teaming up with a Televiper as part of a large effort to capture Clutch and rock and roll. The two Joes had learned Broker Beach, a New Jersey town, was being run by Cobra and the Dreadnoughts. Me hobbies are heavy metal and explosions. Loud explosions.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Yo, Joe, code name, Dial Tone, communications officer, file name, Jack S. Morelli, grade, E6 Staff Sergeant, U.S. Army, birthplace, Eugene, Oregon, primary specialty, radio telecommunications, secondary specialty, infantry. Dial Tone is an Atlantic communications expert with a thirst for combat. He can tune in on enemy transmitter frequencies, locate their coordinates, and attack with pinpoint accuracy. He's like a walking tomahawk missile. He just zeroes in on enemy locations, then blasts in a battle with unstoppable firepower. He is also very dedicated to his G.I. Joe team members. He stays in constant radio contact with them to make sure no one gets lost behind enemy lines. Whether they're calling for assistance or asking for an airstrike, Dial Tone service. From General Hawk's files, one of the scariest things that can happen to you out in the field is to lose contact with your base. That means you are alone. No artillery support, no airstrikes, no medvac, no extraction, no nothing. The cavalry ain't coming until a man with the radio tells them to.
My top 40 hit list doesn't consist of the most popular songs. It consists of the most wanted cobras. I make sure my message gets out loud and clear. My top 40 hit list doesn't consist of the most popular songs. It consists of the most wanted cobras. I make sure my message gets out loud and clear.
Or when you say it, Jess, his name, Dalton's name, his file name is Jack S. Morelli. But if you say it fast, it's Jack S. Morelli. And in the song, it sounded like Jack S. Morelli. Now, that didn't really work with his sister, Jill. I mean, Jill, her middle initials S too. But if I remember correctly, I do have that figure, and that was, but maybe I'll do a Joe take on her if they ever do a classified version of her. Yeah, but yeah, he's Jack S. Morelli. He's Bill Weekey. I mean, come on. Larry Hama had a sense of humor when it comes to these names. I'll be going Jackass. He knew what he was doing. All right, for Monkeywrench, in the cartoon, when he joined the Dreadnoks, there was a bunch of Dreadnoks that showed up, a bunch of thugs that showed up to audition for Zartan's Dreadnoks, and he blew them up with stun grenades. And the other Dreadnoks were like, "That's cheating." And he goes, "What?" And so Zartan was like, "Well, I'll welcome you into the Dreadnoks." And then Thrasher comes up in his stunner machine. He goes, "I was here to punish you, Zartan, for making fun of me." Yeah, the Dreadnoks just picked him up and threw him in the mud because he said he was more intelligent than they were. But it was a funny little scene. And you got Thrasher and Monkeywrench joining the Dreadnoks in that moment, you know. But in the comics, Thrasher was just there. I mean, he was like, they went to the garage, the gas station in New Jersey where Zartan's base got a base, and he was just there tinkering around with crap and had his stunner machine there. And so Monkeywrench was out back with Zanzibar, the Dreadnought pirate who came out the year after. And so Monkeywrench, it took a while for them to put Monkeywrench into the storyline, Larry Hama. And so they were stealing gas from Zartan's gas station garage, and so the Dreadnoks came out there and beat them up, and then all after that, Buzzer was just like, "Oh, most of us old Dreadnoks are back together now." And Zanzibar was in a few, and then they didn't care about him anymore. But Monkeywrench showed up here and there, and so did Thrasher quite a bit. I think Larry Hama liked Thrasher better, and the Thunder Machine is just a cool vehicle. Checklist, we'll talk about it. But as for Monkeywrench himself, you know, he likes to blow stuff up. I mean, he's a dangerous individual, and you know, he's no wimp. And in the cartoon, they kind of portrayed him as a coward and a wimp, and it was just like, wow, okay, he's like this. He's a biker, but they kind of made fun of the whole Dreadnought thing in the cartoon. And originally they were going to do like these Ewok bear things, and Larry Hama was like, "No, Zartan would not. You know, this should be a." He had already had Zartan lined up, and he's like, "No, I think Zartan's going to be the leader of this group called the Dreadnoks, and they're going to be more like Mad Max." And that's kind of what the thought process was behind the Dreadnoks. And Monkeywrench, they had the 3 original carded Dreadnoks, and then he was the next one, you know. And he fits really well with them. And most of the time, it's about the 3 original Dreadnoks. And they forget Thrasher, they forget Monkeywrench, they forget Nagahide, they forget Burnout, who came along way later. And now they've got the Zartan's daughters coming out to make the Zartan Family 4. You know, as it was, I have a Zanya figure for the 25th anniversary line. It's pretty cool. And so, you know, that's your Dreadnoks. I mean, they had a couple others, Heart Wrencher, and I can't remember the name of the other one because it was like direct to consumer from the Collectors Club way in the 2000 teens. And so I wasn't even aware of all that stuff until after, like, the last year they were coming out, and it was like a subscription service, and you had to buy each figure, and they were expensive. And I mean, I've got one of them. I got my clutch figure up here on the wall, and I had to spend like $75 just to get that. You know, it was pretty crazy. So yeah, those are pretty expensive figures. But yeah, the original direct to consumer figures like this Monkey Wrench, I ended up just ordering online later for pretty cheap, and it's a cool figure. Oh, wait, I got this from Walmart. It was on Walmart.com. That's right. But yeah, so it still was online. But Monkey Wrench, I like him. He's a pretty cool character. They needed somebody who likes to blow stuff up, and this harpoon trident is just a nasty weapon. I mean, what if you skewer a dude with that? Shoot him. It's got a line on it and you skewer him from a distance and then pull him back and let the other dreadnoughts beat him up the whole way. Damn. And if you're on a motorcycle riding by and popping somebody with that, or in the Thunder Machine, damn. It's a pretty impressive weapon. The axes were a nice touch in the classified line. I like that, but the pistol, awesome. And other than that, does not have a knife, but he's a dreadnought. He's got axes. That's his melee weapon. But he does have a pistol, and he does have a primary weapon. So there you go. Even for the dreadnoughts, they know. They know. So poor Dialtone's over here, no sidearm. Oh, nope. He's got a walkie-talkie. Oh, yeah. He'll call in an airstrike. But yeah, even on the original figure, he doesn't have a sidearm on his legs or on his chest. It's molded in. So there it is. It's for Monkeywrench. Cool character. Where does he stand in my dreadnought hierarchy? Near the bottom. Thrasher a little bit higher because he has a vehicle to contribute. He's above Monkeywrench, likely above Burnout because he's been a dreadnought longer. And then Zanya came in some of the Devil's Due comics, or Zanya, and she kind of took over, So just like the Zarana does when she's there, Zarana's in charge when Zartan's not. That's kind of how it works. And half the time, I think it's more fear of Zartan than it is Zarana and Zanya. But they are mean. I wouldn't cross Zarana or Zanya. So, Monkeywrench, just one of the dreadnoughts. And that's kind of why I chose him for this because, I'm not going to, I don't know how many other dreadnought Joe takes I'm going to do. It depends on what they bring out in the classified line. I still have Nagahide. I may or may not take a look at him, but I will definitely take a look at him in the Dreadnoughts sub-team episode. So, I might tell you everything I need to say about Nagahide because there's not much media about him either. So, or Zanzibar. And that's all that's left from the vintage line, except for Thrasher. And we may be getting him this year, but that's just a rumor. We'll see. Like I said, talk about it in the checklist. Now, as far as Dialtone is concerned, in the comics, he was just there. He was supposed to replace Breaker. He kind of did that in some instances, but they used him both quite a bit. And then after Breaker died, he was the primary communications guy. Very rarely left the base. Him and Mainframe did a lot of work on the base, which is funny because I just picked up a Mainframe figure there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's way over there. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, Dialtone, communication guy is key in the field, but everybody has comms now. Everybody's got their Joe Pros. If they keep giving them Joe Pros, which they should, I like those. And he's more of a guy that's on base, does the work on base in a modern army. And that's cool. They need them. They need those guys, tech guys. He's one of the tech guys. And I like the beret. I think a very cool looking figure. I really dig. I thought this. I bought this figure before I read the file card, and I'm like, oh, he's a tech guy. Okay, he's pretty cool. And then then the cartoon came out that fall, and you get to know the characters a little bit better, which was kind of cool in 1986. Where does he stand in my G.I. Joe hierarchy? Well, he was originally a corporal or E4, specialist likely instead of a corporal, but he would have had to taken on the corporal role for a while in order to make sergeant, which, according to his file cards, he never did. But yet he obtained the rank of staff sergeant, so at some point he would have had to have been an E5 sergeant. He was promoted up to the rank of E6 before, you know, the figure line kind of ended, and now they're kind of restarting everything. So who knows? So he became an E6 staff sergeant, but he's that tech guy on the base. That's what he does. His specialty is not going to trump other Joes most of the time. He's not going to be taking over a mission. He's not a leader, but you know, he's the tech guy, and you need a tech guy. So pretty cool character. Just unsung, like most, like Monkeywrench. So both of them. That's kind of why I wanted to mash him up. So that's my takes on Monkeywrench and Dial Tone. Now let's pit them against each other and see where we go. So I'll play my mashup video, and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about their gear. We'll talk about, you know, their fighting styles and their what fighting skills that they have, and we'll let you guys decide in the chat who you think is going to win, and I will give my opinion, and I'll weigh in on who I think who would win in a fight between these two guys. So here is on Joe Takes 75 mashup. All right. That's the mashup. We got Monkeywrench versus Dial Tone. Let's talk Monkeywrench first. Now, Monkeywrench is a brawler. He's a biker. Him and the Dreadnoks play punch for punch. They beat each other up for fun on a daily basis, just to see who's tougher. And that's just he's constantly fighting or sneaking around and blowing stuff up. He's your sneaky Dreadnok. The rest of them aren't sneaky. This is your saboteur Dreadnok. He's not fire. He's no Firefly. Never will be. But he knows his explosives. He likes to hear things go boom. I mean, look at that row of grenades he's got there. And then there's his primary weapon. He's got a Trident grapple gun. He can shoot somebody from a distance with that and then reel them in like a doggone fish on a hook, man. And imagine him being on a motorcycle doing that, shooting somebody with that, and then driving off and just dragging them, man. This guy is brutal. And then he's got the pistol revolver. He's got a nice sidearm in case he loses his primary weapon. He's still got a firearm, and then he's got the two battle axes. I mean, this guy is armed for bear. I mean, he's ready to brawl, and he's sneaky, so you may not see him coming. Now, Dial Tone. The Joe team, in order to be on the Joe team, you have to survive a pit where you fight until the sergeant says stop, the drill sergeant. And there's an episode of an issue of the comics called Weeding Out, and I think it's 83, number 83. I'm 81, 83, somewhere around in there. I always forget the numbers, but Weeding Out, they showed how the Joes become Joes. I mean, they have a grueling training session, tougher than Navy SEALs. And so, you know, if they get knocked out in that pit, they're not a Joe. That's a disqualification. So he had to survive that. So he's not a win. Okay, we got a tech guy who's not a win. He's got a good primary weapon with a lot of tech on it. So he's probably not going to get snuck up on. Plus, he's got a communications rig that he can call in an airstrike, and it goes right down there on it right there. I think that's so cool that they have that set up instead of like this little microphone that you can lose. He designed this too, so he can fix it. He can design a new one if he needs one. So, you know, and then they got this bullhorn, which is, you know, if it's a sonic weapon, I will count that as his sidearm. If it's a sonic weapon and not just a bullhorn, and he was a sonic fighter, so I'm gonna say it's a sonic weapon. So we'll call that his sidearm, but it's not a firearm. Now, that might give him an edge from a distance. So long as him and Monkeywrench do not meet hand to hand, Dial Tone wins. Okay, for me, hands down. He can call in companions. He can call, you know, other teammates, Joe's squad mates. He can call in an airstrike. I mean, he can find the bombs and disarm them. I mean, you know, he's not EOD, but you know, if he doesn't know what he's doing, he'll be like, he can call somebody and tell him how to disarm it, you know? So the communications and tech gives him an edge. Plus, you know, he does have, you know, he's got some smoke grenades and a grenade there. So he's got some armaments, you know, and he's got his knife, his combat knife. So he's got everything he needs to you know, to be in the field and survive. If we count that as his sidearm, which I'm going to, but it's going to be my opinion that from a distance, Dial Tone wins. But again, just like with Buzzer and Footloose, if they get up in a hand-to-hand confrontation, this guy who gets beat up every day is going to take everything he can dish out, and he's got axes. He's got he's got the harpoon gun. These two guys, if they go head-to-head, I think Monkeywrench has the edge, and that's my take on my mashup. Let me guys know what you think, and then we'll go and we'll talk about this checklist I got going on here, and I keep forgetting to get some music going on, so let's do some Dreadnought jams. All right, so mashup: Monkeywrench versus Dial Tone. From a distance, Dial Tone. Hand to hand, I'm thinking Monkeywrench has got him. Even though he's a brawler and can survive that pit, you know, some of those other Joes were looking out for their tech guy. Okay, that's my opinion of it. They got him through because they needed his other skills. So yes, he's tough, but he's Joe tough. But the Dreadnoughts are way tougher than they portray them to be. They are bikers. They're killers. Dial Tone is not a killer. He's going to do everything he can to save Monkeywrench's life if he had to. Monkeywrench, on the other hand, is going to do anything he wants and kill him if he gets the chance. So that's his edge. Now, so that Dial Tone's not going to be alone. That's the thing. But neither is Monkeywrench generally. But if Monkeywrench is off blowing stuff up and planting bombs and stuff, might very well get caught alone, the two of them together. All right, so that's my mashup. And I'm pretty sure Monkeywrench has the edge because he's sneaky. I mean, Dial Tone's barely going to see him coming. And by that point, they're right up on each other. All right. That's the G.I. Joe mashup from Joe Takes 75. We actually have reached 75 episodes. To me, that's amazing. When I did the Flint Joe take, I was like, man, where is this even going to go? And here we are, 74 episodes later. So I've had a great time. I appreciate you guys joining me. I do have the checklist we're going to go over, so it's not in it just yet, but please do that like, share, subscribe thing, the YouTube thing, and we have memberships and super chats and all that available. We appreciate it because we have no budget to do our thing. I did get a really cool new T-shirt for Christmas from my mother-in-law, which I appreciate. Well, she gave me some money, and that's what I bought with it. That and wetsuit, if I remember right. Or sci-fi, bought sci-fi, and then I got wetsuit and men's cream afterwards. So all three of those guys were from the 1986 lineup. All right, let's check out this 1986 lineup. Let's check out this 1986 checklist of who we still need. You think the Joe will win? It depends on the situation, really, Jess. But hand-to-hand, physically, I think Monkeywrench has got it, but that's my opinion. But you're good. I mean, it's possible that Jackass Morelli could win the fight. Dial tone. All right, so let's check out this checklist video. Checklist video, and this is gonna show you who is in the classified line with a check. And remember, it's gonna do the ant noise, Jess. So I'm warning you now. Win even. Yeah. He will win even. Okay. All right. So yes, it'll show you that, and plus I've got some other art that I had generated and had a little fun with it. So and then we'll talk about it afterwards, and probably be here another 10-15 minutes. So here we go.
On Joe Take 75. 1986. G.I. Joe Classified Checklist. The G.I. Joe team, General Hawk, Captain Claymore, Brazil Pack, Slipstream, Lift Ticket, Beachhead, Sergeant Slaughter, Mail Order, Sergeant Slaughter, Roadblock, Leatherneck, Brazil Pack, Lowlight, Wetsuit, Brazil Pack, Cross Country, Iceberg, Lifeline, Mainframe, Brazil Pack, Dial Tone, Brazil Pack, Sci-Fi, Cobra Forces, Serpentor, Dr. Mindbender, AVAP, Battle Android Trooper Horde, Bats, Motor Viper, Strato Viper, Vipers, Dreadnoks, Serana, Xandar, Monkeywrench, Thrasher. So to recap, still needed in the classified series from 1986. Havoc, Tomahawk, and Conquest X-30 operators. Cross Country, Lift Ticket, and Slipstream. Will we ever see Captain Claymore in the classified series? He came with the Jungle Mission Brazil pack with 4 other Joes. What about the rest of the Brazil pack in the classified series? Dial tone, mainframe, leatherneck, and wetsuit. I'd love to see that cool version of wetsuit at least. Firebat, Stun, and Night Raven operators. AVAC, Motor Viper, and Strato Viper. Dreadnought Thrasher and his Thunder Machine. Will they really give it to us for the classified line? Thunder Machine. Meanest machine you've ever seen. Let's do it, Hasbro. We want Thrasher and the Thunder Machine. 1986 still needs one more carded figure. The Snow Trooper. When are we gonna get Iceberg, Hasbro?
It has been rumored they got Iceberg. Lifeline is out, but he's basically on pre-order right now. So other than that, you've got the Sergeant Slaughter that was the original mail away. They have 3 versions of Sergeant Slaughter in the line already. Firebat is such a cool plane, and it came originally with the Terradrome playset for Cobra. It was awesome, and it was a launch fighter that came up out of the center. It was really cool, and AVAC came with that, and we could easily get that in the classified line. That would be so cool, and that would be something to match up against, the Dragonfly that's already out now. But that was HasLab, so I'm never going to get that. But it would be nice. But yeah, as far as the other Cobra drivers, Motor Viper came with a stun. That's a possibility. We have a hiss, and the stun's flimsy and not as sturdy as a his tank. So we could get that in Motor Viper. That would be neat. But the Night Raven, no, not a chance. The thing was massive in the 3 3/4 inch line, based off an SR-71 with a drone that is a mini plane that came off the back and flew. It was an awesome thing. And Stratoviper is a cool character. So I doubt we're going to see those. And that's all we're missing for Cobra. But the main things we're missing in the line is the vehicle drivers for G.I. Joe. Cross Country we're probably never going to see because everybody thinks he's racist because he believes in the South and he uses the rebel flag and had that right on his hat, and we're not going to see that dude. We're just not going to. I like Cross Country, but we're not going to see that dude. Lift Ticket, we may if we ever get a Tomahawk. That thing would be awesome and huge, but so not likely. It is a transport helicopter with dual rotors on the front and back. Massive. A very cool helicopter for the 3 3/4 inch line. I've got the modern version of it and the original, but my original one's kind of trash because I played with it all the time. It was a lot of fun. So we're likely, unless we get like them, in a pack with other Joes, vehicle drivers without the vehicles, we're probably not going to see those guys. Slipstream, we could get a Conquest X30. As far as planes go, it was smaller. It's not like a Sky Striker, like an F-14. The X30 was a smaller design with the wings swept forward. That would be a nice, nice plane to go up against the Firebat because they both came out the same year too. So that would be really cool if we got both of those. So it's possible, but not likely. Now the Brazil pack, that's another story altogether. The Brazil pack was a 5-pack that came out with a new guy named Claymore, who basically was just a footloose figure with different paint, just like they were all repainted 1986 characters. Footloose was from 1985. I got a new file card for Claymore, so he's a different character. It would be nice to see him in his own uniform and everything, and his own figure design. But I doubt we'll ever see him. I mean, it was a one-time thing. They brought it back in the comics one time. There is a special missions Brazil issue from Devil's Due that had Dial Tone on the cover. Hey, Zazzle, how you doing? It's good to see you. Let me get some music on here while we chat. Get some more Dreadnought jams. It's good to see you, Zazzle. Hope you're doing well down under. Sergeant Slaughterhouse, man, in the house. Talking about Sergeant Slaughter here a little bit too, because we're talking 1986 characters. Make sure I'm spelling your name right there, Zazzle. Which I may have made out of. But it's good to see you, buddy. Check out Zazzle's Clubhouse. He's got a really cool channel. I just watched one of his really cool videos. He does these like wrestling matches with Joe and a bad guy. And he uses the Street Fighter line and all that stuff too. It's really cool. I've seen a lot of figures that I've never seen before on Zazzle's Clubhouse. So check it out. Check out Jess Law. She's awesome. Good friend of mine. Major contributor to our radio show. She just put out a bunch of music from Christmas that we did. And that she did. She's awesome. And Cool Gamers in the house too. So you guys, thank you all for being with me. So as far as the classified Brazil pack is concerned, I don't think we're going to see Claymore in the classified line. We might. I mean, it's possible, but you know, I don't think there's that much love there for that character. As far as the repaints of the other characters, Leatherneck was a desert version. Why they did that way? Because he was a jungle character. I don't know. Colorations were kind of for desert. So we may get a desert Leatherneck. We did in the 25th anniversary line. He came with a desert Ostriker, which was really cool. I had that. Yo freaking Joe, that's right. And let me see. Mainframe, I did not like his Brazil pack look at all. So I like other people, hopefully like me, nobody's going to care enough to see the Brazil pack Mainframe, but we got Mainframe in the line. And I actually got my Mainframe and classified. Hello, Christopher Works. What's up? We got a Zazzle and a Christopher Works popping in here. Hey, it's good to see you, buddy. Fireball with Thunder Machine. There we go. We're talking 1986 Joes right now. That breakfast cereal guy can get a figure. Anyone can, Stardust. I agree, Zazzle. I agree. It's true. It's true. But let me say hi to Christopher Works in the chat here. That's how I roll. But yeah, let me see. So the other one in the Brazil pack that I would love to see actually is that wetsuit figure. I think it was a superior looking figure. For me, it was a better paint job. The Brazil pack wetsuit was awesome, and that was the better wetsuit. I mean, I like the wetsuit that we got, even the classic 1986 look. They both came out in '86 though, so you know, doubt we'll see it. It's just a off painted. We may get a Brazil pack. That would be interesting. Like button activated. Appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And you know, we got all that stuff going on. We got memberships and super chats, and if you guys want to support us, you can do that. And you guys know how to YouTube. Thank you so much. But you know, as far as the main line, the only one that's not out in the carded figures for '86 is Iceberg. And there's rumors. I don't know if anything's confirmed. I just Googled it a little while ago, and there's no confirmation on Iceberg. People have said they've seen renders and all this, but I haven't seen any. But I'm not real big on keeping up on the news. So it's possible that at a show or something they revealed an Iceberg. So if anybody in the chat knows if they're going to get Iceberg, I've heard that they are. They've got an Arctic Hiss out. That's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive right now that I want to pick up. But yeah, I don't have the cheddar for that right now. That would be cool. And the Arctic Hiss driver looks pretty cool. It's like a mesh of the Snow Serpent and the Hiss driver. It looks pretty good. That would be a cool one to get. I wish they'd do a retro Hiss tank. That would be cool too. Yeah, I'd rather have the regular Hiss than the Arctic Hiss. But you know, it is what it is. And if I can get it, I will. I've got the Ostriker. I have the Vamp and the Stinger. Meh. Just. But that's it. You know, for '86, most of it's out. Most of the carded figures, they got them all. Like I said in my checklist video, The Sergeant Slaughter Melloway. That would be nice to get a Melloway version of Sergeant Slaughter. And I know you probably would like to see one, Zazzle. I know the Sarge would, but we've got the Triple T version that he came with the Triple T originally, the 1986 line, and we've got that version. We've got the Marauders version, which is pretty cool. Mine didn't come with the tote bag, which is why I bought the set, so I might have to buy another one. I even sent off to Hasbro telling them I didn't get the tote bag, and they sent me that Starduster figure you're talking about, Zazzle. Instead, sorry, we can't give you that, but we'll give you this. So no tote bag. They'd rather give me a whole figure than a tote bag. I'm like, okay. So I ended up getting Starduster. I didn't pay for it, but I got him. What about Scarlet in a bikini? I'd like to have all four ladies in a or five if you count Bomb Strike. Get them all four. Or Agent Helix in there too, so it'd be six. Six of the Joe ladies all in bikinis. You gotta have the Baroness in a bikini if you're gonna do that. You're not happy you require a flash radio not to be upset? Well, Jess, I'm not gonna be able to do that tonight because I got things to do, but I appreciate the thought. But I was planning on chatting for a bit. So yes, check out that mashup video between Monkeywrench and Dial Tone. AI doesn't like to show them fighting, but I did a pretty good job of getting them together. And separately, I had some really cool images of Dial Tone and Monkeywrench. So please check that out again up on the channel. Well, it's on the From the Hill. I think the mashup video is over on Joe Takes the G.I. Joe Gamer channel too. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, the mashup video is already up over there, but the checklist will be up on the G.I. Joe Gamer channel on Saturday, and it will be up tonight. In fact, it might be up already. Nope, about an hour. It'll be up on From the Hill. Just think of fluffy kitties and that stupid work. Well, I'm sorry, Jess. Yeah, well, it's not my fault. You had to work. my friend. You're trying, Erd. All right, so we're back from 2026. We're here in 2026 from 2025. I just put up a new short called "Back to 2025." Hopefully, you'll check that out on From the Hill. Just had some fun with AI and animation, and what I thought was funny about 2025. So anyway, we had a fun year. At least we did over here. Not really. And I know a lot of folks had a rough year, and I'm looking forward to this year. Hoping we can get things going better. And I hope that for all of you guys. I appreciate y'all being here. If you're watching the replay, thank you. You guys in the chat, though, you're awesome. Thanks, Help Fam. I appreciate you being here, and I'm not going to sign off just yet because I wanted to talk a little bit. We're not having a show tomorrow night, so yes, I may do a flash radio if I feel so inclined, but likely not. I've been working hard. I've got a novel that I'm in the process of having a makeover. Katie Robbins is doing a makeover for that, and I will have that out probably by the end of the month. You're angry at humans, all of them except you guys. Well, I appreciate that, Jess. We got a game book. The paperback version is already live on Amazon, King Zone. Just look up King Zone or Christopher Hilt and HILDT, and you should be able to find the new King Zone. It's an adventure module for Lynn Harum. It's the first one that we've put out. That's an adventure module, other than the solo adventures, which is pretty cool too. You aren't typical humans. You're right. We're not typical humans. But if you're a Joe fan, I got a bit of Joe stuff coming up this month. On Friday, we're talking Airwolf on From the Hill. Fridays From the Hill. So on From the Hill. So check that out. All my Joe broadcasts are simulcast on both the G.I. Joe Gamer channel and on From the Hill. So you can watch it on either channel, but the main chat is generally over here. And as far as the calendar after that, we may have an Isle of the Dragonhead game on Sunday, but it's also my son Red's birthday, so we may be doing something else, Jess. So if we get ready for that, I don't know. Depends on if he cares or not, because he doesn't play in that game. Next Wednesday, I have a Radio from the Hill Fridays FTH Players Spotlight on Mason Tyler Shaw. So, Jesse, you'll love that one. We got a lot of good Fridays coming out. And in 2 weeks, 2 Wednesdays from now, we got Joe Takes Classics. And that's going to be episode 17. That's what I thought. We're going to be looking at Road Pig, another Dreadnought, and G.I. Joe Doc. So look forward to that. And the file cards should be coming out on File Card Fridays on the G.I. Joe Gamer channel only. Many humans are a pain to deal with, but there are a few good ones. True. Yeah, a couple. You need to interrogate. Anyway, I'm kind of losing my voice today, so I don't know. I was ready to come back, but my voice really isn't. So that's the main reason I'm probably not going to be doing a radio show or anything, Jess. But I do have a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing. Today I did 4 file card videos for the whole next month for the G.I. Joe Gamer channel. I also did another video that I put out today, 2 of them today. So I made 6 videos today. So I've been working. So, and I'll likely make a music video tonight. So tomorrow, that's going to be our schedule. On Thursdays, we're going to do triple shots, 3 triple shots of brand new songs. So tomorrow we got new music coming out. So 2 of them are new, and 1 is a remastered version of a Mason Tyler Shaw song done by the Fridays FTH Players all together. And I made a really cool video, so that's going to come out tomorrow. It's members only right now. You can check it out right now if you're a member. Make sure you have a voice for Friday and Sunday. There it is. Exactly right. Tea with honey and lemon, gargle salt water. Yep. I also use this. I love this stuff. Soothes my throat. It's a sore throat spray. It really works good. You need a Ricola. Yeah, I used to eat those like candy, Chris, and they don't really do anything for me anymore. So yes, please check out my new paperback of King's Own on Amazon.com. Let me see. You know what? Let me post a link in the chat because I can do that. I just thought of that. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. Yeah, it is on Amazon Live. My hardcover is they're still having issues with it. I don't know why. Paperbacks are really nice, but I love the hardcovers more. So if you want to wait, paperback is $25 and the hardback will be $30. So I try to keep them as inexpensive as possible. But you know, we got Katie Robbins too, who's doing stuff, and if I could pay her, I would, but she's doing it for free. So there is for King's Own. There in the chat. I probably should have put that too. Link for King's Own. I'm so good at YouTubing. But there we are now. I'm just kind of hanging out, chatting with you guys a little bit, but my voice is just about done. So I am going to have to say goodnight, my friends, and thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this Joe Take, my opinion on Monkeywrench and Dial Tone. And again, from a distance, I think Dial Tone's got it, but hand to hand, I think Monkeywrench would take him. So it depends on the situation, Jess. Like you said, yes. So Dial Tone could take him. So I don't know about hand to hand though. I mean, he's not going down easy though, because he's a brawler. All Joes are. So that's my takes, as it were, for episode 75 of Joe Takes. Yeah, you guess I can go. Oh, I appreciate that, Joe. I appreciate that. That's just Joe Takes 75. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here. I love talking G.I. Joe, as you can see, and if my voice was allowing, I'd talk more, but I'm done. Hope you enjoyed my new t-shirt. I love bad girls. That's the bad girl right there that I love. You have a great night too, Christopher Works and Jess and Zazzle who popped in here. Appreciate you. And Cool Gamer, always rocking with us. And there it goes. You guys have a good night. And I've got a video to play for you, so we're not quite done for the night. I'm going to play on Joe Takes 75, so you get to see that. And then I'll play the outro. So on that note, We'll see you next time.
Signal check. Channel open. No witnesses. Tells me truth. Every silence marks a route. Hands are steady, breath is slow. I hear you long before you show. Lines are drawn, the grid is tight. I don't need fire, I need time. Boom, hear that sing, pretty boy. That's the sound of broken toys. I don't creep, I don't wait. I kick the door and detonate. You hide behind your blinking lights. Paint the dark with burning sky. I don't listen, I don't bleed. I leave a crater where you breathe. One stays quiet, one burns loud. Both walk in, only smoke comes out. Listen to that buzz, hear the signal fade. No last words, no clear fate. Bad choices, perfect timing. One will make it loud while the other silently moves away. And calls in an airstrike. Call ya. Plans collapse, but still defend. Every blast distorts the map. Every second snaps a trap.
Logan's room full of Joe take dreams. Crimson guard with eyes on the team. Snake eyes silent and mean, but tough to rile. Roadblock rhymes and cooks with style. The first shirt making with a plan. Cobra commander schemes with his clan. Scarlet sharp hits hard, flips fast. Destro's armor gleams from the past. Logan's G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view. Red versus blue, it's up to you. Stay a while and listen for the consumerism. Logan's G.I. Joe's takes given with enthusiasm. Zartan shifting sneaks in disguise. Storm Shadow's blade cut through lies. Baron is cold with her deadly aim. Shipwreck laughs, wins the game. Doc's healing hand in the fray. Flint's shotgun clears the way. Major Blood's battle cry echoes near. General Hawk leads, we cheer. From the hilt on YouTube, tune in for a day. Joe takes to help you with your play. Let's put these characters to the test. Logan's the G.I. Joe gamer, plays it best. Yo, Joe, Cobra, let's go. Let's go. Logan's G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view. Red versus blue, it's up to you. Stay a while and listen for the consumerism. Logan's G.I. Joe's takes given with enthusiasm. Yo, Joe, Cobra, let's go, let's go.
Oh, would I do a thing like that?